Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and welcome to a brand new hot seat campaign on the channel today. We are playing the Teutonic expansion for Medieval 2 Total War, and I will be playing as Norway, one of the factions you technically aren't supposed to be playing as, but I have unlocked both Norway and the Mongols for this campaign. So we have 8 playable factions and 8 players in this campaign. Now, this hot seat campaign is for my Patreons and channel members, and it's just one of the ways that I try to give back to them for their generous support over the past year. And if any of you watching would like to become a Patreon, the link is in the description down below, and it's very much appreciated. But let's go ahead and go over the players and which factions they will be playing as. And then we will start turn 1 as the Mighty Norwegians. A very challenging campaign right from the get-go, as you will see. But I'm playing as Norway, and then we have the Teutonic Order, who is being played by Azrian Fox. Lithuania is being played by Tattoos and Welding. Novgorod is being played by Gandalf, and Gandalf is not actually a Patreon, but he is sponsored by Master Harper, who is a Patreon of mine. We have the Holy Roman Empire, who is being played by Gearhawk. Denmark is being played by Joe Onnet. Poland is being played by Noob Nath, and the Mongols are being played by Emerald Mindstar, and Emerald Mindstar also not a Patreon, but sponsored by Johnny. So let's go ahead and start turn 1 in this campaign. Let me just put in the old password and dive into this Norwegian campaign. Now, right off the get-go, you can see we only start with 2 territories, and if you guys are not familiar with where the starting positions are for the factions, I'll just go over that really quickly. So we have Norway in the upper left-hand corner. We have the Holy Roman Empire in the bottom left-hand corner. Denmark is obviously in Denmark, but they also have a divided empire, which makes it challenging. They hold some territory over here as well. And next to the Holy Roman Empire, so we got Denmark, then the Holy Roman Empire here. Then we have Poland, just to the right of the Holy Roman Empire. And then we have the Mighty Teutonic Order, which is about here, and it extends all the way up through Riga. So the Polish are actually sandwiched between the Holy Roman Empire and the Teutonic Order. Now, the Teutonic Order also sandwiched between Poland and Lithuania. Lithuania just about right here. And then Lithuania is also sandwiched between the Teutonic Order and then the Mongols. The Mongols are in the lower right-hand corner. And then, of course, we have the mighty Novgorod up here in the upper right-hand corner. So the easiest positions, I think, are for Novgorod, the Mongols, and then way over here for the Holy Roman Empire, and of course myself, just because we kind of have corners to our backs, so we're not actually sandwiched like Poland, the Teutonic Order, and Lithuania. I think they're going to be 3 of the most challenging ones in the early game because they're going to be pressed from both sides. And in this hot seat, there are no alliances allowed, or no formal alliances, I should say. There could be some, dark backroom deals where, Teutonic Order promises not to attack a Lithuania and vice versa. But for this campaign, there are no formal alliances, so you are either neutral or at war. So that way everybody kind of knows where everybody else stands. There's only one winner for this campaign as well. So it can't be Allied victory like we did have in the Hungarian campaign, but all of the rules are the exact same for my Hungary campaign. The only difference in this campaign is that there are no alliances. But here we are. We start with 2 small-ish armies. We've got our king here, King Haakon, and Johnny, who is one of my Patreons, is actually Norwegian as well, so he's probably going to vomit trying to listen to me pronouncing all of these names, but we've got Agder down here, and then we have Akershus, which is is this a fortress, or it's just a castle, I think? No, it is a fortress. Excellent. So we start with a fortress, which is nice, and then we have a modest Norwegian fleet here with some longboats, and we have Göteborg down here, which looks like it could be a tempting first target. Now, what makes the Norwegians very challenging in this campaign is that we have the ability to build the troop buildings like the garrison quarters, but it actually doesn't allow us to recruit any troops whatsoever. So you can see I can upgrade this to the drill square, but it means absolutely nothing. It doesn't give us any bonuses whatsoever. So that's going to make it a little bit tough for us, because the only way we can get troops is through bribing rebels or hiring mercenaries. So that's what makes them so tough early game. But let's go ahead and head down towards Gothenburg.
Yes, my lord. Ready to trade.
We've got 2 merchants here as well. So what do we have as tradable resources? We have honey, which is worth 50, and how much is this one worth? Why aren't you showing me?
Ready to trade.
I can't see how much that is worth. We've got timber, that's 25, fish 15, honey 37, 52 for tar, that's actually quite good. 42 for iron, 42 here.
Ready to trade.
So 40. Why can't I see how much that honey is? About 40, 34, 34. So yeah, I think let's get him onto the honey
Continuing
for
on.
the tradable resource. And
Ready
let's
to
bring
trade.
him down to the tar, because I think that's, yeah, 52
Ready to trade.
for him. That's 42. So this guy actually, he must be a better
Ready to
merchant.
trade.
Yeah, just a bit. So let's bring him down here to the tar.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, and we actually have a
I
rebel
look
force
forward
here,
to
Viking
fighting you.
raiders. Well, that is perfect.
At
Let's
your
actually
service.
try and
We shall hear you
bribe
out,
some
but
troops.
do not I must
No.
inform you something else you'd like to suggest? You have another proposal? I must
Okay, well, they're not going to
inform-
do it, so we'll try again next turn. Mean leader. And path blocked. Okay, so let's grab my force.
Your will shall
We'll
be
bring the
obeyed.
catapult, because it means we'll be able to assault it on the same turn, but we'll...
I will make them fear
Let's
you.
leave one of the peasants. And then let's get going.
As ordered.
We want to try and get there.
Anchors away. We continue tomorrow. My lord,
Yeah, we want to try and get there
we cannot
before
sail
Denmark
there.
does, because that could be a
Orders, my king.
viable first target for
My
them to go
lord.
after as well. Peasants. Let's leave the 2 peasant. Well, should we? Let's take them just in
Orders, my
case.
king.
Again, we don't have the ability to train any more
We
troops
go
than
no
that.
further this day.
And let's do that. I won't bump this up any higher because we won't actually get any population growth. Grab that as well. And I'm thinking, because this is useless, let's just destroy that. Apologies for how loud that is, but there's no buildings here. But yeah, that actually gave us a little bit more money, which is nice. And I actually didn't check if there were any mercenaries in this area. So I have to really keep my mind straight on the fact that I cannot train any units. But I think that's pretty much all I can do this turn. If we take a look here, here is the family tree, very small. We've just got King Hakon, or Hakan, and then we've got Margaret and Magnus as the son and heir, so he is 12 years old. And theoretically, if they were able to assassinate this king here, it would actually be GG for me right away. But I think one of the rules is that you cannot assassinate faction leaders, so that kind of prevents people from being eliminated through assassins, which isn't really the most fun way to go out. But here is the overall ranking. Now, you can't really see anything right now, but you can just see little dots on this side here. So I'll tell you that look where we are. We are actually the dot right here. So we are by far the weakest faction. The next weakest faction, I believe, is the Holy Roman Empire. And look at the difference in those 2 dots. So the first one at the top is obviously the Teutonic Order. They start out the strongest. And then we have Lithuania next. And then it's very hard to see, but I believe the Mongols are right there in between, if I'm not mistaken. Theirs is very hard to see. Or actually, that might be Poland. Is that Poland? Oh, that's Poland. My apologies. So we got Teutonic Order, Lithuania. Then we have Poland. And then is that Denmark? Yes, it is. Then we have Novgorod. And then I'm assuming maybe the Mongols, yeah, even weaker, so they could be down here. But yeah, the HRE doesn't start in a very strong position. But then again, I wouldn't even say that we're strong at all. If we take a look at our finance here, we're actually losing money a little bit. which isn't ideal. The army upkeep is pretty extensive, and the King's Purse is 1,000, which I think is 500 less than all the other factions. We have a pretty small King's Purse, if I'm not mistaken. But the merchant trade will help, and once you get this guy onto the tar, then we actually will break close. We'll be close to breaking even. Yeah. But yeah, army upkeep is tough. The construction is expensive as well, but it will net us some more population from which we can actually increase the taxes here. Although I could probably do that now, and then in 2 turns the population would be fixed. So that way we're only losing 15 gold per turn. And we moved all 3 of these. Our settlements are not growing, but they're not in the negative. And we've got all 3 of those moving as well. So I think that's pretty much all I can do. Pretty meager start, but hopefully we will be able to conquer all of Sweden. And then maybe push into Denmark. I think Denmark is going to be our first target. So we will either be able to destroy Denmark and take all of the Danish lands for ourselves, or vice versa. He could just decimate us, and this could be a very short hot seat for me. But never fear, if I do get destroyed early on, I still will kind of keep you guys up to date as best as I can, and we'll go from there. But let's go ahead and end our first turn here. And we will pass it on to Azerin Fox, who is playing as the Teutonic Order. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And as always, I will see you in the next one.